Alright, so today it is Foundation Friday. It has already been a morning today. It's been quite the day. I usually film first thing in the morning. It's 12:36 right now. One of those days. Had pizza for breakfast. I have to make a PSA about matcha tea because this is life-changing. If you've never tried matcha green tea, holy shit. Gives you so much freaking energy. Apparently it has more caffeine in it than coffee. You're welcome. So today we're going to be talking about a brand new foundation from Tarte. This is their Clay Stick Foundation. So this product retails for $39 and you get 0.32 ounces of product. To give you a little bit of comparison, the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation has 0.44 and the Jolie Stick Foundation, which I love, has 0.35. So kind of a little bit less than that. It comes in 12 shades, if I just counted correctly. 12 shades. I have the shade Fair Beige. I definitely didn't see the photos of the girls online, or I would not have picked up Fair Beige. I think I got Fair Beige because it says fair skin with pink undertones. The description of the lightest shade, Fair Neutral, says fair skin with yellow and pink undertones, and then the one in between these two shades said fair to light skin with yellow and pink undertones, so I figured that one would be darker than Fair Beige. There's actually no description of this product on Sephora at all. This thing's like shaking in here. I'm just gonna take it out. I haven't seen the packaging of this yet. Oh, it looks like those, you know those travel brush things when you take off the top and then like a kabuki brush comes out? The top of this has this like faux wood thing. I think that's what that's supposed to be. Looks pretty outdated to me, honestly. The only description on their website says our 12-hour creamy matte clay stick feeds your appetite for weightless natural coverage and good for you nutrients. So I've already done my usual skin prep. Used my Urban Decay Rehab Makeup Prep Hydrating Gel and then my Hyaluronide Primer. Both of these are linked down below in the description box. So typically my foundation videos, I do one side with a brush and one side with a sponge. Since this is a stick foundation, I'm not going to try a sponge. I'm just going to try two different brushes. These are usually my go-to brushes for stick foundations, the Sigma F82 Round Kabuki and the e.l.f. brush that I always use for foundations. I usually have two batteries ready to go. One of them completely died and this one's on like 1 bar, so fingers crossed the battery doesn't die in the middle of this. Still getting used to filming the intro barefaced, so I always feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think we're good to go into the foundation. So I'm going to insert swatches right here so you can see what this shade looks like compared to some of the other foundation shades that I own. Alright, so swatch time. Right here is the Tarte Stick Foundation in the shade Fair Beige. Next over is the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation in the new light shade, which is Y205. Right next to it is the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation again in 115. This is a pretty close shade match for me. Next over is Jolie Stick Foundation in the shade Soft Cream. I have a whole video on this thing. This is the Anastasio Stick Foundation in the shade Porcelain and Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in Alabaster. So let's just go in, shall we? Ooh. Okay, that shade actually looks so far so good. I think I'm going to start out with the Sigma brush on this side. It has a little stiffness to it as I'm trying to blend it out. I'm going to add some more. It feels super lightweight. Like you can't really feel it, but it also at the same time has a little bit of a drag to it. Okay, this shade looks nothing like the photo of the girl. I'll insert it right here. I think this might be too light for me right now, but I always would rather go too light so I can warm it up with like powder and bronzer and stuff than too dark. So far I would say this looks like natural kind of medium coverage. You can still see my freckles coming through. It did a pretty good job of covering my acne though. To give you an idea of which stick foundations I like and don't like, I am all about the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation. I think it's beautiful. I absolutely hate the Anastasio Stick Foundation and the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I have reviews on both of those products if you missed them. As I'm blending this out, it almost is one of those that kind of warms up to your skin and melts out a little bit. So far it's looking pretty good. Yeah, wow, this shade, I'm confused. Okay, so let's try the e.l.f. brush on this side. Okay, so literally right as I put on that side of my face, the battery died, so I blended it out so it wasn't just stuck there in stripes. So we have a solid 2 bars of battery right now. Hopefully I can finish this off before it dies again. I left my forehead so we can blend it out on this side with the e.l.f. brush, but basically it blended out pretty much the same as the Sigma brush. I do prefer the Sigma brush a little bit better with this one though. The e.l.f. one I just found was a tiny bit streaky. The battery was charging for about 35 minutes now, so everything has been on for 35 minutes already. and it's looking super dewy. The top of this almost looks like melted, and that's kind of the way it feels blending it out. It's almost like when you have your stick foundation in a hot car and then go to put it on and it just kind of melts. But without a powder on right now, looking up close, it looks really nice. But I have no major complaints right now. I would say this is high medium coverage. I'm definitely gonna set my whole face with this so I can darken my face a bit, but also it just looks like I'm gonna get super oily since it already looks very dewy. So right now it's 124. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my concealer, powder, and the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. All right, so it's now 1:44, so I'm just gonna call it check-in time 1:45. And now that my powder's on, I use the Are you kidding me? Battery is flashing again. Oh my god. This thing is gonna take me 4 hours to film. All right, so I decided to come out here in natural lighting and just show you guys on my vlog camera. I did powder my face with the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination. I love this powder and I love the way that this went on top of this foundation. It just still looks very skin-like, luminous, but not overly dewy at this point. I think now with the powder, it matches my neck pretty well. It still looks a little bit off, maybe like a bit yellow, but I think it's definitely doable now. Zooming you guys in so you can see what it looks like up close. I think it looks really great right now. It just looks really nice and smooth. It's not clinging anywhere. I think this one would be good for dry skin. It definitely feels pretty moisturizing. It's not clinging on any dry patches on my forehead right now. So right now I'm definitely liking this one. I'm gonna call the check-in time 1:45. Tell you guys what's on the rest of my face. Contour, I use the Naked Skin Shapeshifter. This is new by Urban Decay. This one, I love the tone of it. It's just so freaking pigmented and not in a good way. It's really hard to get like a natural kind of look with this. I've tried using stippling brushes. I've tried literally barely tapping my brush in. It is just a bit too pigmented in my opinion, but I love the color of it. Use Tarte Doll Face Blush, which is one of my favorites. MAC Soft and Gentle Highlight. I haven't used this in years. It's like a gold kind of highlight. And then on my lips is Makeup Forever 203. And then my eyes is Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, and just some winged liner. So that is that. I hope this video is somewhat cohesive because I feel like it's been all over the place. So I'm gonna go finally get some work done and get this day started. Usually the next check-in I do is in natural lighting, so I'll see you guys back here in a few hours. All right, so it's now 7:09, so the foundation's been on for a little over 5 hours? Yeah, for only being on for 5 hours, it's already starting to break down a bit. When you get really up close, I'll zoom you guys in. It is starting to kind of separate a bit, and around my nose it looks pretty heavy. As you can see, around my nose area, it is not looking too great. It just is kind of like separating on my upper lip too. Then I also noticed it separating, getting kind of cracky around this area on my acne. I feel like you can get a better picture here of how luminous this is. This kind of wear is usual for me at like the 8-hour point, but 5 hours is pretty early. We'll see how this looks by the end of the night. Right now on my skin with that powder at least, it's not long lasting by any means. I don't even think I got a good few hours wear out of it. So we'll see by the end of the night how this thing is looking. Okay, so it's now 10:45, so foundation's been on for 9 hours. I am ready to wash my face and get into bed. I think it is safe to say the foundation looks pretty horrible, which I kind of had a feeling after that last check-in, but it's basically caking up, breaking down, separating, creasing in every possible area. My eyes are super red right now, don't know why, but I feel like it's actually looking better on camera. Yeah, I feel like you can't totally see it. Oh, there we go. I mean, yeah, you can see all around my nose area. I also feel like I'm breaking out. Like I wasn't breaking out around here this morning, but it's pretty much worn off on my upper lip, and then it's just totally gathering in certain areas, and I'm pretty oily. Ooh, yeah, it looks pretty bad. So I actually like the way this one looks when it first goes on. After literally about a couple hours, it just majorly goes downhill. At least on my skin. Maybe if you have dry skin, this would wear better. On me, it's just kind of one of those foundations that's a hot mess. I will try this with a different powder to see if it makes a difference. It could have just been the powder, but right now it's not looking promising. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.